Hi, it's Stephen here for Bland Designs, and today I thought I would try something a little different. I'm going to make a tag from some of these pieces of packaging that I've been saving. Packaging is kind of interesting. There's a lot of different colors, there's a lot of different designs. So I did see this being done by somebody else on YouTube, and I thought I would give it a try. And I saw this video quite a long time ago, so I've been saving up all of these pieces for a while. So today I thought I'd give it a try. Now this is CRAP video number 20. CRAP stands for Creative Relaxation and Play. And I don't know if this is going to turn out to be something really interesting or if it's going to turn out to be something that's just a piece of crap. So stick with me. We'll see what happens. I am not going to edit this video, so what you see is exactly what I went through. So at first I thought I would select this as my background for the tag itself. However, this is, well, it's kind of flimsy and I want a fairly substantial tag. So I grabbed one of my, I believe it's a Delusions large tag, and this is one that I took two tags and glued together at one point. So I have a white side, I have a black side, and I think I'm going to use the black side, and I think I'm going to use it as my base. And to start with, I think I'm just going to pair pieces and mount them in a collage style on this. So I'm just grabbing whatever's here. It looks interesting. I'm just auditioning the pieces at the moment. And let's see. And I'm really not thinking about this too carefully. And you can see I'm leaning towards the more vintage look of pieces. Maybe I should throw in something that's got a little, that looks interesting. Let's tear that and use that. Okay, I have pieces that I think I can work with here. Maybe another piece could go around here. You need something along the top. Okay, so I've got these pieces, and I think what I'll do is I'll glue them down with gel matte medium. I put my gel matte medium, I buy it in a big bottle, so I put it into this little squeezy bottle, which makes it a little easier to use. And these are kind of heavy pieces, so I'm not really sure how well this is going to stick down. So I maybe get out my little tiny attacher, and I might use that as well. We'll see. We'll just put that off to the side and see what happens. And yeah, so let's get started and gluing this all down. Move these out of my way here. Oops. Now I'm hoping the matte medium will hold this down, because some of these pieces are glossy and they are heavy. So I'm going to use a generous amount of the matte medium. Now I'm noticing my tag is warping here. Well, that's okay, because once it dries I can fix that up. I maybe should have taken a picture of where I auditioned the pieces first so I know where to lay them down, but I don't think that's really a big problem. I'm actually kind of working on this today. It's a Saturday morning, and feeling a little antsy today. I don't know if this one's going to stick very well. Pull it down, see if that matte medium will grab. And lately I haven't been doing, that doesn't want to stick, doing a lot of journaling. I've been concentrating on sewing and things like that, trying to teach myself how to sew. And I've really gotten into that in a big way, and you'd know that if you've seen some of my recent vlogs. That one just does not want to stick, so let's use a little tiny attacher here and give it some help. Yeah, of course, when I want to use the tiny attacher, I'm out of staples. Oh no, it's got staples. Sometimes if I give it a little hit, there we go. Let me put another one right. Okay. That's going to get covered up anyway, so you're probably not going to see the staples later, but that's all right. So, as I was saying, lately I've gotten right into sewing and machine quilting and things like that. So I haven't done any really art journaling or collage work in a bit. You go through stages, I think, on certain things. Okay, where are we going to stick this piece? Sometimes you just have to do it. That piece is going to give me a lot of trouble up there. I can see that. Oops. But sometimes you just have to just grab something and go, and that's what I'm doing today. So this is why I don't know what this is going to turn into, because I have absolutely no plan. And just as an aside here, you'll notice there's less, well, I said there's less glare on what I'm doing here, because I found that if I use this mat instead of what I had before, I had that plastic mat that I had bought at IKEA, but it was getting warped and whatnot from heat. It wasn't really heat resistant. And so I decided to replace it with this one that I've had laying around on another table, just to cut down the glare. And it seems to be working well for that. And this is a great little craft mat, this blue one by Imagine Crafts. Everything comes off it. And it's silicone, so it stays in place. And I have glass under here, and this is holding this up really well. Okay, do I need anything more? Let me just add. Now, because these papers that I'm using, especially that one, you know, I think that one's going to give me a lot of grief. I wonder if I should take it off. Nah, I'll leave it on. Since these pieces, as I was saying, are kind of on the heavy side, I'm going to go all over this with the matte medium again to make sure it glues down well. And we're going to hit it with the heat gun. And because this is really glossy papers, I'm thinking that anything else I put on top of them may not stick very well, like if I use any sprays or paints or anything. So I think I may go over the whole thing with some clear gesso, just to give me some tooth to work with. So I'm going to do that off camera, and I'll be back. Okay, so it's all dry now, and I've trimmed it off into the side. Look like the tongue-tied here looks like the tag now, looks more like a tag. And I've also covered this in a coat of clear gesso just to give it some tooth, and because anything else I'm going to put on top of this might be repelled by the glossy surface of some of these pieces of packaging. So I thought, what am I going to do next? I want to add some more texture to this. So I pulled out this stencil. I have never used this stencil before. This is a new one that I got from Brutus Monroe. And I have sprayed the back of it with some repositionable spray. I do that with all my stencils when I go to use them, and it keeps product from going underneath the stencil. And I've pulled out my Vichy Bouton, or Bouton, I guess it's, I want to say Bouton, but it's Bouton. And I'm pulling this out, and it's the gold glaze. And I'm just going to add it in a couple of spots, maybe some up here, maybe some down here. And I'm not going to worry about how even the coverage is going to be, because I kind of want it to be that rustic look there. And let's put some down here. Now I am going to have to let this dry before I can do anything else on this tag. So I am going to apply the heat gun to it, although this doesn't really take to the heat gun all that well, so I have to be careful. I don't want it to bubble up. And then I'll be back. Okay, so my Vichy Bouton gold texture paste has dried, and I did use the heat gun on this, and something interesting happens. I don't know if I can show this to you or not, but if you take a look, it did bubble up when I used the heat gun, but I kind of like the way it made these little pitted marks in here in the different circles. And so I kind of like that as texture. So that's kind of an unexpected result, but I'm liking that. And then while this was drying, I went through some more of my stuff, and I had saved this. And this, I think, was on 2 big bottles of salsa that I got at Costco, and they came in a pack like this. And I saved this because this is kind of unusual. And I'm thinking that what I might do, so I'm going to mount this on here, and to me, it looks sort of like a telephone. But then I looked in my stash of Tim Holtz elements, and I found these little clock-like pieces. I added the hands to them, and I'm thinking, okay, they can go in the center of this. And then again, because you know how much I love the Paper Dolls collection by Tim Holtz, I found some of these, and I'm thinking I might put that one there, and I think I might raise it up. and maybe put these girls off to the side here, glue them right onto that so it's raised up so you can see partially the clock under there. And this little girl who's supposedly sitting down, have her sit there. And I'm thinking that this reminds me of a telephone. So I got out some black wire and I'm thinking of coiling this up and having it run off maybe the top or the bottom down here somewhere as well. I don't like the color of this plastic piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint it. And I got out some, I don't know how well the paint's going to stick to this because this is plastic and I haven't treated this with anything. I haven't put any clear gesso on it or anything like that. Actually, I could paint it with black gesso. I was going to use the heavy body acrylic paint, but maybe the black gesso would be better. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. But I think I am going to do this with the black acrylic. So let's just get it out here. Now, it's the heavy body, so it's a little thicker. And I picked that on purpose to see how the coverage would be. So I'll just get out my paintbrush. Yeah, I think this is going to work. I may have to give it 2 coats. And actually, I think what I'm thinking of right now, and I better pull it out before I forget, I think I might use some of the gold rub metallic around the edges of this as well. Or maybe I should use bronze. Maybe bronze would be better once this dries. So this is going to take a bit of time because I am going to have to give this more than 1 coat. So I'm going to go off camera, finish this coat of paint up on here, dry it, and then I'm going to give it a 2nd coat, and I'll come back and we'll try the metallic rub. Whether I use gold or the bronze, I'm not sure yet. So I will do that. Okay, so I've got 2 coats of the heavy body black acrylic paint on this piece now. It's still not completely dry yet, so I'm just going to set it aside to let it dry. And while it's doing that, I decided this is a little bright yet, and I'm going now definitely for a much more vintage look. So I got out my Timber Brown StazOn ink, and I'm just using an ink applicator here, and I'm just going to lightly go all over this background just to grunge it up a little bit. And I think I'm going to, while I'm here, just go around the edges as well. Just to give this tag a little bit more definition. And I'm putting it on fairly thick on the edges because I really want it to show up. Okay, I think that's good. And I use StazOn because just in case more wet medium, which there will be in order to get that piece to stick down and the clock pieces here, it won't run. So I'll just hit it with the heat gun for a second. This is just to heat set it. You don't have to do this, but I do it. It's just a little added level of security, I think. Okay. Now I'm going to make sure this is very thoroughly dried because what I decided now, and I was talking about using the metal rubs, instead I'm going to get out my Rust Paste by Finnabair, and I'm going to try that. Give this a little bit of an antique look. I may only use 1 color. I might use the terracotta. I don't know. We'll see how that works out, but we'll come back to that. But I want this to be thoroughly dry before I do it. So I'm going to let that sit and dry, and I'll be back. Okay, so now I've got 2 coats of heavy body acrylic black paint on this piece of plastic. And next thing I'm going to do is I want to add a little bit of a patina to this, and I've pulled out my Rust Paste And there's 3 colors of these. They work together as a set. I don't think I'll use the yellow, or I might, but I think I'll use these 2 colors. And I'm not sure how well this is going to adhere to this piece. So get a little bit of it out here, and I'm just going to go around. That seems to be sticking okay. And I'm just cleaning off the brush a little bit. And I'm just going to take a little bit of the terracotta and apply that as well. Clean off my brush. And now I'm just going to hold this up. I think I will use a little bit of the yellow, or what do they call it? They call it, I am not sure what they call it. Well, it's yellow-ish. Just clean off my brush again. I may have gotten a little bit too much on here, so maybe take my finger. Oh, must be careful because some of this is peeling. The black paint is kind of peeling off, which I wondered if that would happen. Okay, I think I've got too much of the yellow on it, so I think I'm going to put a little more of the terracotta. I think it's better with my finger. So this is getting kind of rusty looking, and that's sort of what I'm going for. And I think I may want to use a little bit of the darker brown color too. Okay, and I think I'm just going to take the brush and clean it off. Got a little pot of water here off camera. That's what I'm cleaning it in. And I'm just going to sort of dry brush a little bit of this. Take some of the excess off. Okay, just looking not too bad. So, let me put the lids back on my little pots here. Set those off to the side. And now, I think I should give this a little bit of a hit with the heat dryer. This product dries fairly fast, so it's not going to take very long to do this. Okay, now let's take a look at what this looks like. Move this out of our way. Over here. Oh yeah, that's going to look pretty good. But I'm going to have to this will be hard to glue down with ordinary glue. So I think I will use some E6000 because it sticks anything to anything. And I'm also going to take these little clock pieces and I'm going to glue those down as well with the E6000 on there. And I want to add a little wire on here. I've got this black thin gauge wire. It's going to take off some. And my idea here is that I can take this and I'll just coil it around my finger. Actually, maybe not around my finger. Maybe I need to do it on something a little thicker. Yeah, how about this paintbrush? I'm thinking I will just adhere this under here, and yeah, that will look, it's subtle, but that'll look pretty good. So I'll need to put that down with some E6000 as well. So I'm going to do this off camera, and then I'll be back to show you what I'm going to do with these little pieces that I have here, to add those on, and maybe put some kind of little wording on this to look for something. I'll be back. Okay, so I've got the little clock pieces glued down and this piece of plastic that I've aged, which to me looks sort of like an old handset from a telephone. I've put in this little black wire. It's sitting here drying, and the glue has set up. It's not completely dry. I've only had it on here for about 5 minutes or so, so I'm going to be careful with these next parts. And I've got my little figures here. And what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to age the little figures with some more of the StazOn Timber Brown ink. And I'm just going to go around the edges. Just to give them a little bit of dimension. And I'm just going to lightly go over the actual picture too to sort of dirty up the boldness of the white. This also gets rid of the white edges. Not that anybody's going to really see them, but just in case, just the overall aging effect here. And then our happy little bride and groom. And again, I'm using StazOn on these particular pieces because these are very glossy. And if I use Distress ink, it'll probably just bead up or wipe off, whereas this will remain permanent. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's close this up. Now, I want to raise these elements up. So this one's going to go right here, a little off the edge. So I have some black dimensional squares. And I'm going to be fairly generous in my distribution of these. And I'm going to put them on all the pieces to start with. Now I just realized something. Since these ones are going to go over here, I only need them down this side. Yeah, once they're stuck on, they're not easy to get off. I should have thought of that. So let's get something out just to scrape them off. No one's going to see this, but I don't need them because they're going to on that side, because this little piece here is going to prop up one side of it. And this piece, let's just make sure I don't make the same mistake. I'm going to have her over here. So actually, I don't think I need any on her. Actually, I may not need any on these guys. Yeah, I don't really need any of them on these two pieces. Should have thought of that before I did this, but that's okay. I just scrape them off. No one will be the wiser, just you. And you're sworn to secrecy on pain of death. Yes. Okay. So I do need to glue these down. I think I'll put this piece on first and get out my little trusty paper piercer here to get the little backings off them. Now these are very, very sticky, but because I've got a fair amount of product on this tag, I think what I'm going to do is put a little bit of Dries Clear glue, a little dot in the center of each one of these little foam squares, just as extra security, because I don't want them falling off. So get out my glue. Okay. Okay, the happy couple are on. And I've gone off a little bit off the edge of the tag, but that's okay. That adds more dimension. Now, this little lady is going to go right here. I think I can probably get away with using the white glue. I'm going to be fairly generous with it. So she's perched. And the same with these little girls here. There we go. So all my pieces are on here, but of course right now everything is still wet. That glue has to dry. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stop here. I'm going to look for something I can put up here, a little caption. I'll take a look and see what I have, and I'll be back. Okay, so I've picked out a series of possibilities here from a Tim Holtz collection. And I've got Live in the Moment, Love This Life, Listen to Your Heart, Remember the Now, and Salvaged. Now, which one of these do I really want to use? You know, I'm tempted to use that word just because I salvaged pieces around, found art, but does it go with really the pictures? Do I really care? Possibly not. Remember the Now. Yeah, I don't think so. Live in the Moment. Well, there's something here that's done with time. Okay, I think Salvaged is out. Live in the Moment's grabbing me out. Listen to Your Heart. No. Love This Life. No, I think I'm going to use Live in the moment. And what I'm going to do, as you can see, my tag is still curling, but I'll straighten that out after everything dries. And I think to make it blend in a little bit more, I'm going to hit it with the Timber Brown StazOn ink around the edges, and also just a little bit over the top of it, just dabbing it here to give it that aged look. Now, the question is, do I want to raise this one up as well? And I can. Or do I want it flat? Now, I think I'm going to raise it. And these should fit pretty much perfectly. They're just the right size. There we go. And again, I'm going to put a little bit of the white glue onto the back of these little sticky pieces, just for extra security. And I'm going to fit this one right up here. And there we have it. And I think I'm going to call this piece done. So I will take a couple of close-up pictures of this so you can get a better look at it. And yep, this started out as a crap video, and I said at the beginning, this may be successful, this may not be, this may be a piece of crap, but I don't think it is a piece of crap. I think it turned out quite nice. And the majority of this was made from packaging, and a found piece here that came on packaging as well, and in some embellishments in my stash. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. I think it looks good. Hope you like it. So I'm going to insert here a few close-up pictures of this, and stay tuned and watch another one of my crap videos when they next appear. Thanks a lot. Bye for now.